and gentlemen, today I want to speak to you about something far greater than success, far greater than ambition. Something that is foundational to who we are and how we operate in this world. It is a mentality. The mentality of the lion. You see, the lion does not question its purpose. It does not wonder if it is worthy or capable. It moves with confidence, determination, and purpose. It is not the largest in size, nor the fastest in speed, but it is the king of the jungle because it knows its identity and carries itself accordingly. It walks with a sense of authority, no matter where it finds itself, because it understands the power of its mindset. The first lesson from the lion mentality is the importance of identity. A lion does not look at the zebra and wish it had stripes. It doesn't look at the cheetah and wish it had speed. A lion knows who it is, and that understanding gives it the confidence to stand tall. No matter what the world throws at it, God is glorious. You must first know who you are. You were not born by accident. You were made with purpose, equipped with everything you need to fulfill your destiny. The problem arises when we start to doubt who we are or try to be something we are not. Understand this. Your identity is your power. A lion leads not because it is the most powerful, but because it recognizes its role in the ecosystem. It takes responsibility for itself, for its pack, and for the territory it claims. Leadership is not about the title you hold. It's about influence. As a leader, your greatest power lies in your ability to inspire and lead with purpose, even when no one is watching. You were born to lead, not to follow. Lion does not stop when faced with difficulty. It does not take no for an answer. It remains relentless, focused on its goal. In your journey, you will face opposition. You will encounter obstacles that will seem insurmountable. But the lion teaches us this: obstacles are not the end. They are the very things that build strength, character, and resilience. Never back down from your pursuit. The lion's strength is not in avoiding battles, but in enduring them. The lion is never distracted by the opinions of others. It does not look to the crowd for validation. It has a clear purpose, a vision it is relentlessly pursuing. You must remain focused on your purpose and not be swayed by the voices of doubt, criticism, or envy. Your purpose is the compass that directs you. And when you know where you're going, it doesn't matter what anyone else thinks. You walk with confidence, knowing you're on the right path. A lion does not shy away from solitude. In fact, it embraces it. It understands that in the quiet, away from the noise of the world, it gathers its strength. Many of us fear solitude. We fear being alone with our thoughts. But in those moments, we discover the deepest parts of ourselves. Take time to reflect, to recharge, to realign with your vision. Solitude is not isolation. It is preparation for greatness. The lion does not fear its prey. It does not fear the hunt. Fear is not something to run from. It is something to face. Every lion, before it pounces, must overcome the fear of failure of rejection, or of defeat. But it doesn't let fear control it in the same way. You must rise above your fear. The only way to defeat fear is to face it head on. When you do, you will find that the very things you once feared are the things that propel you forward. A lion hunts with precision. It doesn't chase after everything. It focuses on its prey and goes after it with a singular vision. What is your vision? Do you have a clear picture of where you're going? Your vision is what gives you direction. Without vision, you wander aimlessly. But with vision, every step you take becomes deliberate, purposeful, and impactful. The lion is not an isolated figure. It is part of a pride. And in that pride, there is an unspoken understanding. Each member is stronger when they work together. Your success is not just for you. It's meant to uplift those around you. As you rise, lift others with you. True greatness lies in inspiring others to realize their own potential. When the pack succeeds, so does the lion. Andrew Carnegie reminds us that progress starts with a scratch of an itch. Every lion goes through seasons of preparation, patience, and sacrifice. It doesn't chase every opportunity. It waits for the right moment. Likewise, you must be disciplined in your approach. Sacrifice the things that don't align with your purpose and focus on what matters most. Discipline is not punishment. It is the key to unlocking your potential. The lion does not conquer the jungle by force alone. It understands its environment, the rhythms, the cycles, the strengths and weaknesses of its territory. To thrive, you must learn to master your environment, whether that's your work, relationships, or personal habits. When you understand your surroundings, you can navigate them with skill and power. So I challenge you today, adopt the lion mentality, stand tall, walk with purpose, and lead with courage. Know who you are and refuse to let anything stop you from fulfilling your destiny. Like the lion, be relentless, be focused, and always, always live with vision. Your greatness is not up for debate. It is your birthright. And like the lion, you are destined to reign. Do you think of the lion, what comes to mind? A powerful creature, a symbol of strength and courage, but more than that, it is a creature that knows exactly who it is. The lion doesn't question its place in the world, nor does it doubt its purpose. It walks through the jungle with its head held high, not because it is the largest or the most physically imposing, but because it understands its identity. This is the first and most important lesson from the lion. Embrace your identity. If you don't know who you are, the world will tell you who you should be. And too often that is a path filled with confusion, frustration, and a sense of unfulfilled potential. The lion does not listen to the opinions of the antelope or the monkey or even the elephant. It doesn't try to imitate the speed of the cheetah or the agility of the leopard. It doesn't tolerate. The lion knows its strength lies not in becoming something it is not, but in fully stepping into what it was created to be. Too many people spend their lives looking to others for validation, trying to fit into molds that were never designed for them. We live in a world that constantly tells us what success should look like, what beauty should be, what we should strive for, and who we should become. But if you listen to the lion, it teaches us that the key to success is understanding that you already have everything you need. You do not need to conform to the expectations of others. You are not a mistake. Your purpose is not accidental. Your life is not a random series of events, but a carefully designed masterpiece waiting to be fully realized. And this realization begins with one simple truth: knowing who you are and being comfortable with who you are, without comparison, without self-doubt, and without hesitation. The lion's power does not come from its physical strength alone. It comes from its deep understanding of its role in the ecosystem. It knows it is a predator. And because it knows this, it moves with authority. Its movements are deliberate. Its decisions are calculated. And its confidence is unwavering. Its predator calculated, its movements are calculated. Similarly, when you know your identity, you step into every room, every conversation, and every challenge with an inner strength that cannot be shaken. When you are certain of your purpose, you don't need to prove yourself to anyone. Your value is inherent, not dependent on the applause of others or the approval of those around you. This confidence in your identity is not arrogance, but a deep-rooted sense of self-worth. A lion does not announce its greatness to the jungle. It does not need to scream, nor does it need to constantly remind the world of its power. It simply is. And in its being, it commands respect. This is what you must strive for: an inner knowing that your presence, your purpose, and your potential are enough. So embrace who you are. Recognize the uniqueness you bring to this world. Do not apologize for your greatness, and never shrink to make others feel comfortable. The world needs the authentic, unfiltered version of you. The world needs the lion in you. When you embrace your identity fully, you step into the fullness of your power. And when you do that, nothing can stand in your way. The lion is not the fastest, nor the most cunning, yet it leads the pack with an undeniable presence. It doesn't need to assert itself through force or intimidation, because it understands the essence of leadership. It comes from a place of courage, purpose, and responsibility. The lion doesn't hesitate in the face of challenges. It doesn't wait for permission to take charge. It steps forward and leads with an unshakable confidence, knowing that the responsibility of leadership is something it must own fully. True leadership is not about titles or positions. It's about the willingness to take responsibility for the direction of those around you. In the jungle, the lion doesn't lead because it's the biggest or the most intimidating. It leads because it has the courage to act, to take charge when others may falter, and to make decisions that impact the whole pride. Leadership is about making choices that others may not be willing to make, even when the risks are high or the outcome uncertain. It is about stepping up, not for personal glory, but for the well-being of the greater good. Courage in leadership is not the absence of fear. In fact, fear is always present. But the lion teaches us that courage is the ability to act in the face of fear. It leads despite the uncertainty of the terrain or the dangers that lie ahead. This kind of courage doesn't just appear overnight. It is cultivated through an unwavering commitment to the cause and a deep understanding of the responsibility that comes with leadership. Leaders, like lions, don't wait for the perfect moment. They create the moment. When the pride faces hunger, The lion doesn't hesitate. It does not stand back and wait for others to figure it out. It takes charge, leads the hunt, and makes decisions. Leadership is not a passive role. It is an active, intentional choice. The lion doesn't hesitate to rise above fear or doubt, for it knows that in times of crisis, others look to it for guidance. The lion doesn't question its capability. It trusts its instincts and takes bold action. In the same way, the unstoppable spirit within you cannot be shaken by the hurdles life presents. Every person at some point faces adversity. Whether it's failure, disappointment, or obstacles that seem too big to overcome, we all face challenges that threaten to break our spirit. But it's not the challenge that defines us. It's how we respond to it. A lion never loses its heart, even when it's hungry, even when it's injured, even when it's faced with greater and stronger threats. It never questions its ability to continue the hunt because it knows it is built for this moment. And just as the lion doesn't allow the world to determine its path, you must learn to do the same. Having an unstoppable spirit means developing a mindset that refuses to accept defeat. When the lion is knocked down, it doesn't stay on the ground, it rises, shakes itself off, and continues forward with renewed determination. It's this mentality that separates those who achieve greatness from those who give up too soon. The spirit of a lion says, I will keep moving forward no matter the odds. I will keep fighting no matter how many times I fall. And even when it's exhausted, even when it's been in the fight for longer than it anticipated, the lion's heart refuses to quit. The unstoppable spirit isn't just about physical strength, it's about mental resilience. It's about the ability to keep pushing when everything in your body and mind tells you to stop. It's about cultivating an internal fire that refuses to be extinguished, regardless of external circumstances. This is where many people falter. They give up too soon. They believe that just because things aren't working out immediately, they aren't meant to succeed. But success isn't a straight line. It's full of twists, turns, setbacks, and moments when you wonder if the struggle is worth it. The lion never questions its journey. It trusts the process because it understands that perseverance is a prerequisite for greatness. The lion teaches us that persistence isn't just about working harder, but about working smarter. The unstoppable spirit is about outlasting the difficulties, not succumbing to them. Every challenge the lion faces only strengthens its resolve. And in the same way, each obstacle you encounter in life has the potential to strengthen your spirit, to sharpen your skills, and to prepare you for what lies ahead. It is in the struggle that we grow, evolve, and prepare ourselves for the next level of achievement. But this spirit also requires patience. The lion does not rush through the process. It knows that true power lies in consistency. It doesn't overexert itself, chasing after every opportunity. It is deliberate and focused. It takes the time it needs to rest and recharge, to plan and reflect. The unstoppable spirit then is not about being constantly in motion, but about knowing when to act with fierce determination and when to pause and prepare. This relentless pursuit is also about faith. Faith in your ability to endure and faith in the path that you are walking. The lion does not fear the next challenge. It does not worry about how hard the journey will be. It simply trusts in its ability to rise, to fight, and to achieve its purpose. You must cultivate that same trust in yourself, knowing that the strength you need is already within you. The moment you decide that you will not be defeated, that you will never quit, that is the moment your unstoppable spirit is born. On earth, in every area of life, there will be moments when you feel like giving up. You'll face exhaustion, discouragement, and moments of self-doubt. But the unstoppable spirit refuses to surrender. It understands that no matter how tough the journey gets, no matter how many times you've been knocked down, you were designed to rise. The lion doesn't wait for the world to change to fit its needs. It adapts, it grows stronger, and it presses on. You are more than capable of embracing that same spirit. The one that refuses to settle for less. The one that looks adversity in the face and says, I will rise again. Like the lion, let your spirit remain unshaken, unbroken, and unstoppable. The lion never seeks approval from the other animals in the jungle. It doesn't wait for validation from the gazelle or the elephant or even from the rest of its pride. It doesn't need to conform to anyone else's idea of success. It knows what it is, and it understands its purpose with unwavering clarity. The lion's focus is singular, to live in alignment with its purpose, to hunt when necessary, and to protect its territory and pride. It doesn't waste energy trying to meet the expectations of others. It's driven by something far more powerful, its own internal sense of purpose. This is a lesson for all of us. Far too often we become distracted by the opinions of others, allowing them to dictate our actions, our decisions, and even our self-worth. In a world that thrives on comparison, it's easy to start measuring your value based on what others think or how they perceive you. But when you let other people's opinions dictate your path, you give away your power. You begin to live according to someone else's standards, and that's when you lose sight of your true purpose. The lion doesn't measure its success by how many animals in the jungle approve of it. It knows that its strength, its impact, and its destiny are not determined by the thoughts or judgments of others. The lion operates according to its own instincts, its own vision. It knows its role, its capabilities, and its mission. When you focus too much on others' opinions, you dilute your own ability to focus on what truly matters. You become distracted, uncertain, and ultimately ineffective. Purpose is the compass that guides you through life. It's what allows you to keep going when everything around you suggests you should stop. The lion understands that its purpose is to hunt, to lead, to protect, and to thrive. And everything it does flows from this understanding. Its energy, its focus, its drive all stem from its purpose. And so must yours. If you are constantly looking to others to tell you who you should be or what you should be doing, you will never be able to live authentically. You will be chasing after goals that don't align with your true self, which leads to frustration and ultimately stagnation. Living according to purpose means knowing who you are and why you do what you do, regardless of what others might think. It means aligning your actions with your deepest values and desires, even when that means going against the grain. The lion doesn't care if the other animals in the jungle think it's too bold, too aggressive, or too dominant. It simply focuses on its mission. When you focus on your purpose, the opinions of others start to lose their power. You begin to walk with confidence and clarity, knowing that every step you take is a step in the right direction, because it's a step that aligns with who you are and what you are meant to accomplish. It's important to remember that not everyone's opinion will be supportive, and that's okay. There will always be critics, people who don't understand your vision or your journey. But these opinions, good or bad, are not what define you. They are not what will bring you success. Success is found in staying true to your path, in listening to your own inner voice, and in continuing to push forward even when others may try to hold you back. When the lion roars, it does so with authority, not because it seeks to impress anyone, but because it knows its place in the world. It doesn't apologize for its strength. It doesn't dim its light for the comfort of others. The lion knows that its presence, its power, and its roar are meant to be heard and felt. In the same way, you must embrace your unique gifts, your vision, and your purpose without apology. Let go of the need for validation from others and begin to live according to your own design. The beauty of purpose is that it aligns your energy. It allows you to operate at full capacity without being distracted by every new opinion or piece of advice that comes your way. It frees you to be exactly who you are without worrying about whether or not people approve of it. Purpose gives you clarity, and clarity gives you direction. When you know why you are here and what you are meant to accomplish, no external opinion can sway you. You are grounded in your own truth. Living according to purpose is about self-trust. It's about trusting your instincts, your judgment, and your vision. The lion trusts itself to lead, to hunt, and to protect because it knows it is capable. Likewise, you must trust yourself to navigate the challenges of life. You must trust that you are the expert on your own life and that the decisions you make, rooted in your purpose, are the right ones for you. When you lead with purpose, you create a ripple effect that inspires others to do the same. You become a living example of the power of living authentically. And in doing so, you begin to attract the people and opportunities that are meant to support your journey. Focus on your purpose, and the opinions of others will no longer have the same hold over you. When you are driven by your own vision, you move with certainty and power. And just like the lion, your actions will speak louder than any external judgment or critique. Stay focused on your purpose, and you will find that you are not only living the life you were meant to live, but you are inspiring others to do the same. The lion, though a powerful creature in its own right, does not spend all of its time in the company of others. In fact, the lion often seeks solitude, not as a form of loneliness, but as a space to recharge, reflect, and regroup. It is in solitude that the lion finds clarity and prepares for the challenges that lie ahead. This is one of the lion's greatest strengths. It understands the value of retreating into silence, away from the distractions of the world, to gather the mental and emotional strength needed to return to the pride with renewed vigor. We often view solitude as something negative or isolating, a state to be avoided at all costs. In a society that celebrates constant connectivity and external validation, the idea of being alone is often misunderstood. But the lion teaches us that solitude is not something to fear. It is a powerful tool for personal growth. It is in solitude that we find our most honest thoughts and connect deeply with our inner selves. When we are alone, we have the space to process our emotions, reflect on our goals, and align ourselves with our true purpose. It is in these quiet moments that we make the discoveries that lead to greater strength, clarity, and resilience. In solitude, the lion does not seek distraction, it seeks restoration. It understands that in order to be a strong leader, a powerful protector, and a force of nature, it must first be whole within itself. Just as the lion must rest between hunts to maintain its energy, we too must take time to rest our minds, bodies, and spirits. This time of solitude allows us to listen to the voice within us, free from the noise and opinions of others, and it helps us rediscover our own wisdom and direction. There is strength in knowing when to step back and retreat from the external world. The lion knows that its value does not diminish when it is alone. It does not need the approval or presence of others to affirm its worth. It stands firm in its identity, regardless of whether it is surrounded by a pack or walking alone. Likewise, when we embrace solitude, we cultivate the ability to stand strong in our own identity, to be self-sufficient, and to trust in our own inner guidance. Solitude is also a time for deep reflection and strategy. In the quiet of solitude, the lion reevaluates his goals and prepares for the next challenge. It takes stock of its strengths and weaknesses, ensuring that it is ready for what's to come. This is not a time of idle rest, but of active preparation. The lion uses solitude to sharpen its focus, to plan its next move, and to refine its instincts. Similarly, when we embrace moments of solitude in our own lives, we can assess our progress, refine our goals, and adjust our course if necessary. We are not always required to be in motion, constantly moving forward in a whirlwind of activity. Sometimes the most powerful thing we can do is pause, reflect, and recalibrate. Solitude gives us the opportunity to gain perspective and discern the next steps in our journey. It helps us see more clearly, act more decisively, and move with greater purpose. It is important to note that solitude does not equate to isolation or loneliness. The lion does not retreat because it is afraid of others or prefers to live in complete isolation. Rather, it understands that solitude is essential for the vitality and strength it needs to engage with the world around it effectively. The lion returns to the pride with a renewed sense of power, ready to lead and to protect. And the same is true for us. Solitude is not about cutting yourself off from the world, but about finding the strength and clarity you need to return to it, even more powerful. There is also a profound lesson in how the lion handles solitude when it comes to its emotional and psychological well-being. The lion, despite its raw strength, has moments of vulnerability, times when it is injured, exhausted, or emotionally drained. In these moments, it seeks solitude to heal. It does not attempt to mask its wounds or push through the pain at the expense of its health. The lion understands that recovery is part of the process. Similarly, we must learn to give ourselves permission to rest and heal without guilt or shame. We must be willing to retreat into solitude to restore our mental and emotional energy, allowing ourselves the time and space to heal from the struggles, setbacks, and burdens we carry. When we refuse to take the time for solitude, we risk becoming overwhelmed, burned out, and disconnected from ourselves. Without solitude, we lose touch with the inner voice that guides us. We become distracted, scattered, and prone to making decisions based on external pressures rather than internal clarity. The lion teaches us that solitude is not a luxury, but a necessity, a vital component in maintaining our strength and purpose. In solitude, we are also forced to confront the parts of ourselves that we often ignore or suppress, the doubts, fears, and insecurities that we may try to push aside in our busy lives. It is in these quiet moments that we come face to face with our vulnerabilities, and in doing so, we find the opportunity for growth. The lion does not shy away from its own limitations. Instead, it acknowledges them and uses its time alone to heal, reflect, and grow stronger. We sit there and listen to the cry that moves within us. We confront the beliefs, and finally, we know. The strength found in solitude is about self-mastery. It is about learning to be comfortable in your own company, to find peace within yourself, and to trust in your own wisdom. The lion does not rely on the opinions of others or the presence of others to feel complete. It stands firm on its own, knowing that its power comes from within. When you cultivate this inner strength, you will find that you too are capable of enduring any challenge, overcoming any obstacle, and moving forward with confidence and resilience. Solitude, then, is not a retreat from life, but a powerful step toward embracing life at its fullest. It is in solitude that we connect with our highest self and gather the strength to return to the world even more powerful than before. The lion in his natural state is no stranger to fear. It faces dangers every day, the possibility of an injury, a rival predator, or the uncertain outcomes of a hunt. Yet fear never defines the lion. Instead, the lion uses fear as a signal to rise, to sharpen its focus, and to step into its true power. It does not run from fear. It faces it head on, recognizing that fear is not a barrier, but an invitation to demonstrate courage. In our lives, fear often plays a similar role. We all experience it. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of the unknown. The difference, however, lies in how we respond to that fear. The lion teaches us that fear is not something to avoid or let control us. It's a natural part of life, an inevitable companion that will appear when we step into new challenges or when we approach the unknown. But fear does not have to paralyze us. It can be the very thing that propels us forward if we choose to rise above it. Fear, in its essence, is often a reaction to uncertainty. It thrives on what could go wrong, on the unknown possibilities that make us doubt ourselves and our abilities. Yet the lion moves forward not because it knows every outcome, but because it has faith in its ability to handle whatever comes its way. It does not need the safety of predictability. Its confidence comes from knowing that it is capable of responding to whatever challenge arises. The lion does not need to know that every hunt will be successful, but it trusts in its strength, its instincts, and its purpose. Let's move on to the very first image of the lion. In life, the same principle applies. When we are faced with fear, whether it's taking a risk in our careers, confronting a difficult conversation, or stepping into a new phase of our lives, we often focus on what could go wrong. But just like the lion, we must shift our focus from fear of failure to trust in our ability to handle the unknown. The more we allow fear to dictate our actions, the more we limit our potential. But the moment we decide that fear will not dictate our future, we open ourselves up to new possibilities. When we face fear head on, we break free from its hold and step into a space where growth, achievement, and success are possible. God bless you. Rising above fear requires a shift in mindset. It's about choosing to move forward despite the fear, not because the fear has disappeared, but because we've decided that our purpose is greater than the discomfort of fear. The lion does not wait for fear to dissipate before it takes action. It does not stand frozen in place, waiting for the perfect moment when all conditions are ideal. It rises to the occasion, knowing that the true power lies not in the absence of fear, but in its ability to keep moving forward in spite of it. This is the courage that we need to cultivate in our own lives. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is the ability to act in spite of it. It's knowing that even though we may feel uncertain, even though we may not have all the answers, we are still capable of moving forward. The lion shows us that fear is a natural part of growth. It's an indicator that we are about to do something significant. Fear rises when we push ourselves beyond our comfort zones, when we challenge the limits we've set for ourselves. And in that moment, we must choose to rise. When we allow fear to take the lead, it keeps us stuck in a cycle of inaction. We wait for the right time or the right conditions, which never seem to come. But if we adopt the lion's mentality, we realize that waiting for fear to go away is not the path to success. Instead, we move forward despite it, trusting that with each step, the fear will lose its power. The more we face fear, the less control it has over us. We train ourselves to become comfortable with discomfort, knowing that discomfort is often a precursor to growth. Rising above fear also involves embracing vulnerability. The lion is not afraid to show its true self, to let its presence be known, even in the face of potential danger. It does not hide behind false bravado or try to act invincible. Instead, it steps into its truth, fully aware of the risks involved, and moves forward with resolve. In the same way, we must be willing to embrace our vulnerabilities, the parts of ourselves that fear being judged, rejected, or misunderstood. To rise above fear, we must first accept that fear is a part of the human experience, and that it does not make us weak, it makes us human. Every time we rise above fear, we grow stronger. We learn to trust in our ability to navigate difficult situations. We learn to trust in our instincts, our resilience, and our capacity to adapt. The lion does not need to be fearless. It simply needs to be willing to move forward in the face of fear. And through that, it becomes even more powerful. The lion also teaches us that fear can be a catalyst for action. When the lion feels the presence of a threat, its fear does not paralyze it. It sharpens its focus. It responds quickly, decisively, and with purpose. Fear alerts the lion that something needs its attention, and instead of shrinking from the challenge, it rises to meet it head on. This is how we must view fear in our own lives. Not as something that holds us back, but as a signal that it's time to act, to push forward, to take control. When you learn to rise above fear, you begin to understand that the greatest rewards often lie on the other side of it. The more we face our fears, the more we uncover our own strength and potential. Fear is not a barrier to success. It is a signpost showing us where we must go. The lion doesn't avoid fear. It embraces it, moves through it, and uses it as fuel for the next step in its journey. And so must we. When we rise above fear, we unlock the limitless possibilities that lie waiting for us. Fear, instead of holding us back, becomes the very thing that propels us toward our greatest achievements. The lion, as powerful as it is in its physical prowess, also operates with a sense of vision, an innate understanding of its purpose in the world. It doesn't hunt aimlessly. It moves with precision and intent. The lion knows what it is capable of, and it is driven by a vision of what it needs to accomplish. When the lion begins a hunt, it doesn't simply stumble upon its prey by chance. It surveys the terrain, focuses on the target, and works strategically toward its goal. The lion's power doesn't just lie in its strength, but in its ability to see what others cannot. Its vision allows it to anticipate, to plan, and to take action with clarity and purpose. This same principle applies to us in our own lives. Vision is not just about having a vague idea of what we want to accomplish. It's about having a clear, unwavering image of where we want to go and the person we intend to become. Vision gives us direction when the path is unclear and provides purpose when motivation begins to wane. It acts as the compass, guiding us through challenges, detours, and uncertainties. Without vision, we drift. We wander from one experience to the next, reacting to circumstances instead of acting with intent. With vision, we walk with confidence and clarity, knowing that every step, no matter how small, is leading us closer to the destination we've envisioned. The power of vision is in its ability to transform the ordinary into the extraordinary. Just as the lion's strength is rooted in its sense of purpose, our ability to create impact is directly tied to the clarity of our vision. Vision allows us to rise above distractions and detours. It gives us the ability to look past immediate obstacles and see beyond them, to look toward the future where our dreams and aspirations are realized. When you have a clear vision, you can remain steadfast even when the going gets tough. The challenges don't seem as daunting because you are focused on the bigger picture, not the temporary discomforts or setbacks. Vision also empowers us to take bold action. It's easy to get stuck in fear and doubt or in the habit of playing it safe. But when you can clearly see what lies ahead, it fuels the courage to step outside your comfort zone and pursue your goals, even when the road seems unclear. The lion does not wait for everything to be perfect before it strikes. It moves with conviction, guided by the vision it holds of its target. Similarly, when we hold a clear vision, we are more likely to take the necessary steps, even if those steps seem intimidating or challenging. Vision drives us to make the impossible possible. A powerful vision also helps us navigate uncertainty. Life is rarely linear. The road is filled with unexpected twists, turns, and challenges. Without vision, we can become easily discouraged by these setbacks. But with vision, every challenge becomes an opportunity to strengthen our resolve. When the lion encounters an obstacle, a rival predator, an injured paw, or even a lack of food, it does not lose sight of its ultimate goal. It adapts, overcomes, and continues moving forward. Having a vision also creates focus. It eliminates distractions and helps us prioritize what truly matters. The lion does not waste energy on unnecessary pursuits. Every movement, every action is deliberate and purposeful, aligned with its vision of survival and strength. In the same way, when we are clear on our vision, we stop chasing after every new opportunity that arises. We become intentional with our time, our energy, and our resources. Vision helps us focus on what is essential. And that focus is what propels us towards success. Another incredible power of vision is his ability to align us with our higher purpose. When the lion hunts, it does so not out of desperation, but from an inherent understanding of its role in the ecosystem. Its survival, its growth, and its leadership are all tied to a deeper sense of purpose that aligns with its vision of life in the wild. When we live with a clear vision, we connect with something greater than ourselves. Our goals are no longer just about personal success or material gain. They become about fulfilling a greater purpose, about contributing to something meaningful, something that resonates deeply within us. This alignment with purpose brings fulfillment, satisfaction, and a deep sense of joy that goes far beyond the fleeting victories of external success. Vision also has the power to inspire. Just as the lion's confidence and strength can command the respect of the entire pride, a person with a clear vision exudes an energy that draws others to them. People are naturally attracted to those who are clear about their purpose and who are confidently working toward it. Vision attracts like-minded individuals, supporters, and collaborators who see the bigger picture and want to be a part of something greater. When you are guided by a strong vision, you not only transform your own life, but you also inspire others to rise to their own potential, to follow their own path, and to pursue their own visions. Vision helps us remain anchored in our values. When we are clear about our vision, we are also clear about the principles that guide us. The lion's actions are driven by an inherent understanding of what it values: survival, leadership, and strength. It acts in a way that is consistent with its nature and its purpose. When we have a vision, we align our actions with our deepest values, ensuring that every step we take is in harmony with who we are and what we stand for. This alignment brings peace of mind as we know that our actions are not driven by fleeting desires or external pressures, but by a deeper, more authentic calling. Vision is also a tool for resilience. The road to success is not always smooth. There will be moments when you question your choices, doubt your abilities, or feel disheartened by setbacks. But a powerful vision acts as a guidepost, reminding you of why you started and what you're working toward. It becomes a source of strength when the going gets tough. The lion faces countless challenges in its life, but its unwavering vision of survival and success keeps it moving forward. Similarly, when we hold fast to our vision, we can persevere through adversity, knowing that each step forward brings us closer to the fulfillment of our dreams. Vision has the power to shape not just our own lives, but the lives of those around us. When you are living with a clear vision, you begin to create a ripple effect that influences others to discover their own purpose and to pursue their own dreams. Vision is a force that goes beyond individual success. It creates a legacy. Just as the lion leaves its mark on the jungle, a person with a clear vision leaves a mark on the world, inspiring future generations to rise to their potential, to dream big, and to act boldly in pursuit of their own purpose. The lion is not only a solitary creature, but is also a leader of the pride. It has the responsibility to inspire those around it to lead with strength, vision, and compassion, ensuring the survival and success of the entire group. The lion's leadership is not based on fear or dominance, but on a deep understanding of the power of unity and the collective strength of the pride. And it leads by example, demonstrating through its actions the principles it holds dear: courage, resilience, and purpose. In life, leadership isn't just about being at the top or holding authority. It's about inspiring those around you to rise to their full potential. Just as the lion does not hunt alone, a true leader understands the power of collaboration, of motivating others, and creating an environment where everyone can thrive. A leader is only as strong as the people they inspire. Together, we may rise to the top. When the lion inspires its pride, it cultivates strength in each individual member, ensuring that when the time comes, the entire pride is capable of overcoming challenges together. Inspiring the pack requires more than just words. It requires action, integrity, and a deep commitment to the collective well-being of the group. The lion does not demand respect, it earns it. It earns respect through consistent action, through standing firm in its purpose, and through showing day after day that it is worthy of the role it plays within the pride. Please, I need you to come to the table with the maximum integrity and a maximum obligation. A leader inspires others not by trying to control them, but by empowering them to see the best in themselves, to recognize their own strengths, and to operate as part of a greater whole. True leadership is about fostering an environment of trust and support. The lion doesn't lead through intimidation. Instead, it nurtures a sense of confidence within the pride, allowing each member to contribute in their own way. When one lion faces a challenge, the rest of the pride rallies together, each member bringing their unique strengths to the table. The lion understands that strength is multiplied when the pride works together, each supporting the other. Likewise, as a leader, your role is to create a culture where collaboration is valued, where every person feels seen and heard, and where the collective success of the group is always the priority. To inspire the pack, you must first inspire yourself. The lion does not ask its pride to do anything it isn't willing to do itself. It doesn't expect them to face challenges it wouldn't face. Leadership begins with personal integrity and commitment. When you walk with clarity and conviction in your own life, you set an example for others. People are naturally drawn to those who lead by example, who show up with consistency and authenticity. If you want to inspire others, you must first live in alignment with the values and principles you wish to instill in them. The lion's actions are rooted in its beliefs, and this consistency gives it the strength to inspire others to rise alongside it. Inspiring others also means recognizing their potential, even when they may not see it in themselves. The lion doesn't wait for its pride to prove themselves before it trusts them. It believes in their ability to contribute and grow, even when they are still learning. Similarly, as a leader, you must be able to see beyond the current limitations or challenges of the people you lead. You must be able to look at them and see their strengths, their potential, and the role they can play in the success of the group. When you show others that you believe in them, you give them the confidence to believe in themselves. A lion does not just inspire through its actions, but by lifting others up and giving them the space to step into their own power. Inspiring the pack also requires a deep sense of empathy and understanding. The lion understands that each member of the pride has its own strengths, weaknesses, fears, and aspirations. It doesn't expect every lion to behave in the same way or excel in the same areas. Instead, it adapts its leadership to the needs of the group, knowing that each individual brings something unique to the table. The leader's role is to recognize these differences and harness them for the collective benefit. To inspire others, you must be able to see the world through their eyes, to understand their struggles, and to encourage them with compassion and patience. To inspire the pack, you must create a sense of purpose that transcends the individual. The lion's leadership isn't about personal glory or recognition. It's about the survival and thriving of the pride as a whole. It leads with the understanding that the success of the pride is its own success, and the failure of one is a reflection of the group as a whole. As a leader, you must inspire others to see beyond their own individual desires and challenges, to understand how their contributions fit into the larger picture. When people are aligned with a higher purpose, they are more motivated, more dedicated, and more willing to work together toward a common goal. Inspiring the pack also means being willing to step up in times of adversity. The lion doesn't shy away from challenges. Instead, it confronts them head on, knowing that its strength lies in its ability to face obstacles with courage. As a leader, you must be willing to step forward, especially when the pack faces difficult times. Leadership in times of adversity is crucial because it is in these moments that the true character of the leader is revealed. The lion shows its pride that no matter how tough the situation, there is always a way forward. It doesn't just lead when things are easy, but especially when things are difficult. When you lead with courage in the face of hardship, you inspire others to do the same. Your actions during tough times can serve as a beacon for others, helping them to find their own strength when it feels like all is lost. The lion's power lies not only in its physical strength, but in its ability to inspire others to move with purpose, confidence, and unity. A pride that is inspired is a pride that is unstoppable. It's not just about one lion achieving success. It's about the entire pride thriving together, each member playing its role to ensure the survival and success of the whole. As a leader, your goal is to create a culture of empowerment, trust, and mutual respect. When you inspire those around you, you elevate them, giving them the tools to rise to their full potential. The pride becomes stronger more unified, and more capable of achieving great things because of the leadership it follows. The lion, despite its immense strength and majesty, understands that in order to thrive, it must make sacrifices. It doesn't live solely for its own desires or pleasures. Every action it takes, every hunt, every decision is informed by a deeper understanding of the greater purpose it serves, not just for itself, but for the survival of the pride. It sacrifices immediate gratification for the long-term benefit of its goals, knowing that its power comes not from indulgence, but from the restraint and dedication it practices daily. Sacrifice is often misunderstood as loss, something that takes away from our happiness or success. But true sacrifice is not about giving up for the sake of deprivation. It's about choosing purpose over ease. The lion does not waste energy on frivolous pursuits. It focuses on what matters most: survival, leadership, and the well-being of the pride. This understanding of sacrifice is not a sign of weakness, but of strength. Sacrifice is not a sign of weakness, of strength. The lion knows that to be great requires self-mastery. And to achieve greatness, it must let go of the distractions that do not serve its mission. The lion's sacrifices are made with the awareness that they are necessary for the greater good. The pride depends on the lion's ability to make sound decisions, to protect, to hunt, and to lead with strength. Similarly, when we choose to sacrifice something in our own lives, whether it's time, comfort, or temporary pleasures, it's important to understand that these sacrifices are not in vain. They are the stepping stones to achieving something greater, something that aligns with our highest purpose. Sacrifice is often the precursor to success, the foundation upon which our future accomplishments are built. Without the willingness to make sacrifices, we risk falling prey to distractions and temptations that only served to delay or diminish our true potential. Discipline goes hand in hand with sacrifice. While sacrifice asks us to give up something in the present for a greater good, discipline is what sustains us through the process. The lion does not stop being a predator simply because it feels tired or hungry. It disciplines itself to stay sharp, to stay focused, and to remain consistent in its actions. Discipline is the ability to stay committed to the course, even when the road is difficult or when the outcome is uncertain. It's easy to give up when things get tough. But it's the disciplined lion that continues to pursue its goals with determination, knowing that every effort contributes to the pride's survival and success. Discipline is not just about rigid routines or imposed structures. It's about cultivating the inner strength to do what must be done, even when we don't feel like doing it. It's about doing what is necessary, even when it requires effort, sacrifice, and patience. The lion does not wake up each day motivated by external rewards or accolades. It rises each day because it understands that survival requires consistent effort and that success is the result of daily disciplined actions. In the same way, our success is built on the foundation of our habits, our consistency, and our willingness to stay true to our vision even when faced with challenges. The power of discipline lies in its ability to shape our character and refine our abilities. Each act of discipline builds upon the last, creating a cycle of growth and progress. The lion doesn't become strong overnight. It becomes strong through a series of small disciplined actions: hunting, protecting, leading, that add up over time. Each sacrifice, each moment of focus, and each decision to stay on course is what ultimately shapes the lion. into the powerful creature it is in our own lives. Discipline shapes who we become. It shapes our identity and our ability to achieve greatness. Discipline is the muscle that allows us to stretch beyond our limits, to refine our skills, and to remain true to our vision when distractions arise. Just as the lion's strength is forged through consistent effort, so too is our strength. The more disciplined we become, the more capable we are of handling whatever challenges come our way. The sacrifice and discipline the lion practices are not burdens. They are tools that enable it to rise above the ordinary and become extraordinary. The lion sacrifices short-term comfort for long-term success. It sacrifices personal convenience for the collective benefit of the pride. It disciplines itself to remain focused, to stay in motion, and to never lose sight of the goal, no matter the obstacles. This is the path to greatness, the path that allows us to transcend our limitations and step into the fullness of who we are meant to be. Sacrifice and discipline are the twin forces that propel us forward, even when the journey feels uncertain. They are the key to unlocking the power within us. They are what separate the dreamers from the doers. The lion's power lies not only in its natural strength, but in its unwavering commitment to its purpose, its willingness to sacrifice comfort for discipline, and its focus on the long-term vision. In the same way, we must learn to embrace sacrifice as a necessary part of our growth, and to practice discipline as the means by which we achieve our goals. With sacrifice and discipline, we carve out a future that is aligned with our highest potential. Without them, we remain stagnant, unable to rise to the greatness that lies within us. The lion, in all its majesty, does not allow its environment to dictate its actions. It masters it. Whether it's the harshness of the savannah, the scarcity of food, or the unpredictability of rival predators, the lion knows how to navigate and even thrive within the conditions it finds itself in. It understands that it cannot control every variable in its environment, but it has the power to control how it responds. So then you ask me, why is it important? The lion adapts, adjusts, and utilizes its environment to its advantage. It doesn't wait for the world to change to suit its needs. It makes the world work for it by leveraging what is available. This mastery over environment is not about exerting control over everything or bending the world to one's will, but about developing the resilience, awareness, and resourcefulness needed to thrive regardless of external circumstances. The lion, for example, doesn't choose the terrain in which it must survive, but it adjusts its hunting strategies, its movements, and its decisions based on the land, the weather, and the seasons. The lion understands that the environment may be difficult, but it can still find ways to adapt to it and make it work for its survival. The lion uses its surroundings to enhance its chances of success, whether by choosing the right time to hunt, using cover to conceal its movements, or knowing when to wait patiently for the right opportunity. In our own lives, we often find ourselves at the mercy of external factors. Difficult work environments, limited resources, challenging personal circumstances, and societal pressures. Yet, the most successful individuals, much like the lion, do not let their circumstances define them. They master their environment by adjusting their mindset, their actions, and their perspective. Instead of becoming victims of the challenges around them, they become victors by taking control of their responses and turning obstacles into opportunities. Like the lion, we can learn to turn adversity into advantage by recognizing that our true power lies not in the ability to control every external factor, but in our ability to control how we react to what life presents. Mastering your environment begins with self-awareness. The lion is keenly aware of its surroundings. It listens, observes, and studies the terrain. It senses when danger is near and when it is time to move. It knows when to act and when to wait. Similarly, in our lives, mastering our environment begins with understanding ourselves and our circumstances. We must be keenly aware of the dynamics around us, of the opportunities and challenges we face, and of our own strengths and weaknesses. This awareness allows us to make informed decisions, to act strategically, and to navigate through challenges with confidence. This is the reality that grabs us. Being aware of our environment doesn't mean being passive or reactive. It means being proactive. The lion doesn't wait for opportunities to come to it. It takes the initiative. Whether it's seeking out food, protecting its pride, or asserting its dominance in the territory, the lion actively shapes its environment. In the same way, we must take ownership of our lives. We must stop waiting for the perfect moment or the perfect set of circumstances. Mastering our environment means being willing to make changes, take risks, and move toward our goals, even when the situation doesn't appear ideal. Mastering your environment also requires resilience. The lion is no stranger to hardship. Whether it's enduring periods of hunger, confronting stronger rivals, or facing the harsh elements of nature. But through all these challenges, the lion persists. It does not give up when the conditions are tough. It adapts, learns, and moves forward. Similarly, mastering our environment is not about avoiding adversity, but about developing the resilience to face it head on. It means building the mental, emotional, and physical strength to endure challenges without being overwhelmed by them. It's about remaining steadfast, not because the situation is easy, but because you are stronger than the circumstances. Another aspect of mastering your environment is the ability to leverage what's available to you. The lion may not be able to change the land it roams, but it knows how to use the features of that land to its benefit. It uses the shadows to hide, the tall grass to stalk its prey, and the natural elements to its advantage. In the same way, we can learn to make the most of what we have. Whether it's limited resources, a challenging job, or a less than ideal situation, we can find ways to leverage what we've got and use it strategically. Instead of focusing on what we lack, we must focus on how we can use what is available to us in creative and resourceful ways. Success comes not from having perfect circumstances, but from maximizing the opportunities in the environment we're given. Mastering your environment also means controlling your mindset. The lion does not approach every challenge with fear or uncertainty. It approaches with confidence and calm. It is assured in its ability to face whatever is in front of it because it knows that it has the power to respond. Similarly, we must develop the mental discipline to control our thoughts and attitudes in the face of adversity. Mastering our environment begins in our minds. It's easy to be overwhelmed by external stresses, to become discouraged by setbacks, or to feel powerless when things don't go our way. But when we master our thoughts, we take control of how we experience our circumstances. Our mindset is the lens through which we perceive the world, and it determines how we act. A mindset of strength, resilience, and optimism helps us navigate through any environment, with grace and power. One of the key elements of mastering your environment is knowing when to act and when to wait. The lion is strategic. It does not rush into situations impulsively. It understands the importance of timing and patience. Whether it's waiting for the right moment to attack or understanding when to retreat to conserve energy, the lion's decision-making is based on careful observation and understanding of its environment. Similarly, we must learn to balance action with patience. It's important to take decisive steps toward our goals, but it's equally important to know when to pause, reflect, and wait for the right opportunity. Mastery comes from knowing when to push forward and when to hold back. To truly master your environment, you must also lead by example. The lion does not demand respect, it commands it through its actions. Its presence, strength, and leadership are undeniable because it leads with purpose, conviction, and consistency. In our own lives, we must lead by example in everything we do. Whether in our professional lives, personal relationships, or communities, our actions speak louder than our words. Mastering our environment means taking responsibility for how we show up in the world and the impact we have on those around us. When we lead with integrity, discipline, and focus, we inspire others to rise with us, creating an environment where greatness is not only possible, but inevitable. Mastering your environment is about taking control of your responses, your mindset, and your actions. It's about not allowing external circumstances to define who you are or what you can achieve. The lion teaches us that our power comes not from changing everything around us, but from mastering ourselves in the face of whatever challenges arise. It's when we learn to adapt, to remain resilient, and to harness our inner strength, we turn any environment, no matter how difficult, into a platform for growth and success. The lion's mastery over its environment is a powerful reminder of the potential within each of us. It doesn't wait for life to be perfect, nor does it shy away from adversity. It adapts, it leads, and it thrives despite the circumstances. The key to mastering your environment lies not in trying to control everything around you, but in controlling how you respond to it. It's about developing resilience, embracing your inner strength, and using every challenge as an opportunity to grow. Just like the lion, we must stop allowing external factors to dictate our lives. We have the power to shape our destiny through our mindset, our actions, and our unwavering belief in our purpose. When we choose to master our environment, we unlock a force within us that can overcome any obstacle, rise above any challenge, and achieve the impossible. Remember, true power lies not in avoiding the storm, but in learning to navigate through it with courage, clarity, and confidence. Take ownership of your environment, shape it to your advantage, lead with strength, and inspire those around you to do the same. When you do, you not only master your own life, but create a legacy of strength and resilience that will impact the world around you. You are capable of greatness. Never forget that. Like the lion, embrace your power and rise to your potential no matter what your environment may bring. The world is yours to conquer.